Hey guys, Stamina here, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be going over how to default on the T side of Nuke. So defaulting on T side Nuke is different than basically any other map. CS is played by way of default at the highest level, pretty much 80 to 90% of rounds in pro play. Even when you see a strategy pulled off, it's usually coming out of a default. But on Nuke, it's a little bit different because it takes a lot of risk to actually get map control on Nuke, right? If you wanted to get garage control or get it secret control or wrap outside, all these things take a lot of inherent risk. Whereas on Inferno, for example, we're just taking banana. All these other maps are so much easier to gain map control. So on Nuke, when we think of defaulting, we don't think of it in the traditional sense, but there are still some basic defaults that you can do in your team environment, and you can mask strategies into them. So we'll start with the outside smoke. So I'm just going to show it on the map really quickly, and then I'll go in and show everything. But right now it's very meta to throw a smoke around this area and a smoke around this area. And we call these the C smokes. Now, what this is going to do is this is going to block the vision from the outside players and allow you to get down secret. But when we throw these smokes, what we're actually looking to do is we're looking to make sure that nobody can aggress us in this area of the map right here. So commonly, you'll see CT players get aggressive and they will push toward T-Red. And when they're coming over here toward T-Red, what they're looking to do is they're looking to find an opening with the op. Maybe they're trying to send a rifler up toward Africa, whatever the case might be, right? They're trying to aggress us outside. So by throwing these C smokes, we're giving ourselves an ability to kind of clear out this part of the map. So how most teams start this default is we're always going to have one guy in lobby. He has a pretty basic job. He's going to nade off the door, and most teams have him throw a door lurk smoke. Sometimes you won't have him throw door lurk smoke, but that's fine. You're usually then going to have one player go Twinkie. This player who goes Twinkie is always going to molly top hut for his lobby defaulter. And this guy on Twinkie is he's serving a really important purpose. His job is to help trade anybody who does aggress outside. And then once we actually look to take secret control, he's kind of our aerial coverage to make sure that we can make it down secret without being shot from secret or from anybody peeking up on top credit card, right? And then we're going to have the last few guys on the floor out here. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to have one guy looking to jump spot and make sure there's no aggressive pushes from the CTs. Now, if there is an aggressive push from the CTs, very commonly used is a glaive Molotov like this. And this Molotov will burn out this cubby and back red, and it'll allow this guy on Twinkie and the player on the floor to kind of clear out that aggression. Now, if we don't think there was any aggression, we'll usually then call in for the C smokes. So we'll get one like this, jump throw, one like this, forward jump throw. And then we'll usually follow this up with a player throwing a flash, something along the likes of this. Now what this flash is going to do is if anybody was hiding red, and looking to catch us on timing, or if they were hiding like close Africa and trying to catch us on timing, this flash would actually go ahead and blind them. And so now once we start our progression, we can kind of trade them easily. Now, we also talked about how players could peek out of secret and try to fight us. So it is common that pros will use a Molotov into secret like this. Then they'll get that flash, and then they'll progress. Okay? But if you actually have a player on Twinkie, you don't necessarily need the molly, and sometimes it's nicer not to have the molly. Just because always having to use a molly when you throw these smokes is a pretty big tell. So this is only part one of this default. Once we have control of secret and we've done all this stuff outside, we need to really do more with this. We're usually only going to send one or two guys down secret, unless we're doing a full lower exec, which I'm not going to show in this video. But if we're only if we're only throwing a couple players down secret to complete this default, we need to do something else. We need to take ramp control. Now, why is this important? When you throw these outside smokes, what you're doing is you're actually forcing a rotate from the CTs. They're going to drop a player down the vent to kind of make sure that you guys can't just progress from secret freely. Now, once we go back and take ramp control, this player is also going to be pushed down lower. So what we've done now in this scenario is we've thrown outside smokes, which block the vision from the opper on whether or not we're going into secret, garage, or mini. We've made it into secret control, and we've pushed back any CTs playing here. And now when we go and take ramp control, we're pushing another player down lower from ramp. So what what they are facing here is they're facing a situation where you have an op and a rifle playing upper. You have a yard player who has to worry about 3 different things. He has to worry about secret, mini, and his J-Hall flank. You have an upper who needs to help watch door and hut with the other rifler. And you have 2 guys lower who are completely separated from one another. One of them is focused on secret, and the other one's focused on him getting crunched to ramp. Now, some teams will even just end the round like this. They'll take ramp control, they'll have a couple down secret, and they'll just crunch the lower bomb site. But you can also use this as a manipulation tactic to move the defensive pieces around the map exactly how you want them to then hit upper. So when you're taking ramp, this is how you're going to want to do it. It's pretty simple. You're going to have one guy jump spot. He's going to make sure that nobody's opping on the ramp or peeking. Once he spots that it's clear, we're going to aim up from this light to this yellow beam like this, and we're going to throw a Molotov. Now, this Molotov is going to burn anybody off this angle right here, this angle right here, and it's going to make their vision very tough to see toward ramp, okay? Now, after we throw this Molotov, we're going to follow it up with a flashbang, and this flashbang will blind anybody playing toward J-Hall or on the ramp, okay? And this is going to force them down lower. Now, as we're doing this, once we get out of ramp like this and we've cleared boost, we're going to want to molly J-Hall. This is because that opper who is playing upper and rotating in is going to want to come fight this and try to help his ramp players. So if we force him back, then he's stuck just, you know, worrying about upper with that one other guy. And in this situation, we have completed the outside default. So this is, in the quickest and simplest form that I can show, how you use these C smokes to default and really control the map. So the next default that we're going to go over is the outer yard wrap. Now, the outer yard wrap is basically what you're going to do after you've conditioned the CTs to drop one player lower and focus on secret control, right? They're fearing that you're going to move a guy down lower and then you're going to go back to ramp. But in this scenario, what you're actually going to do is you're going to fake those same outside smokes, and then you're going to look to isolate this player in yard. Now, typically that player in yard might play like back credit like this, might play back garage around here. They could even play at this little red box back here. And so now in this situation, we're going to be throwing those same C smokes as we did before. But after those are gone and we've gotten a guy down secret, we're going to go ahead and throw a locker smoke and a mini smoke. And now we're going to attack the outer yard, which is going to give us a route in toward heaven or toward J-Hall to split ramp that way. So this is how we're going to do this. So you're going to start everything the exact same as the standard outside default. You're going to jump spot. You're going to have a guy on Twinkie. All this stuff is good. Okay. We're going to leave a smoke back here for our boy. And this guy is going to throw both C smokes once we are ready. Now, when he throws these 2 smokes, he's throwing them. He's coming up. He's throwing that same conditioning flash, unless you don't need it based on your information. Okay, we're getting a guy across secret. In this situation, we just want one guy across secret. He's going to be the guy that always goes down secret. That way, there's no tell. Okay, once he's down here, he's going to look to just push back any lower player and take away their vision from double. And once this is done, we're going to look to initiate the outer yard wrap. So we had one guy on Twinkie. We have our opper down on the floor. And we have our lobby defaulter who's going to come back out here. So our lobby defaulter is going to come back and he's going to throw the locker smoke like this. Okay? And aim there and jump throw. And this is going to bank off this little guy here. And it is going to smoke off the windows. Now, I apologize. I don't play 16-9, so my nades are a little bit bad, actually. You aim just a little bit more to the right. And then it'll bounce deeper. Yeah, there we go. All right. Now, you're going to have your opera on the floor down here. And they're going to line up a smoke like this. They're going to line up this blue box to this box in front. Come up from this line, up to this top wire. Run to the bottom wire. Now, directly after this, they're going to molly credit. And then they're going to look to flash outside like this. And as your opera is doing this, you're going to have this player that was on Twinkie drop down. And he's going to rip 2 flashes off of this back box like this. And he's going to drop down. He's going to wrap outside. Now, what's happening in this scenario is those flashes are going to blind any opper on the enemy team that's playing from heaven, like this, or down here from Zaiwu, like this. And now your opper is just going to open up outside as you're dropping off of top mini. Now, the other rifler who is on the floor is going to cross as well. And this guy is just going to look to get into big garage and make sure big garage is clear. And then he's going to be a trade fragger with his teammate who's running up this wall. Now, the end goal here is that we make it into heaven and we split upper. And so what you end up having is you have a lobby defaulter who's going to go late lobby and backstab. You have two guys capable of going mini. That would be your opper and your rifler who started down secret. And then you have two players who make it toward heaven. Now, in this situation, it's really easy to end on the upper bomb site. You just simply throw a Molotov into hut like this. You throw a door lurk smoke like this from outside. This smoke will block the heaven angle. The hut will block anybody in hut. And now you just simply pincer the upper bomb site with really strong fights onto all these angles. And you can even add in some cheeky different nade utility, like a guy from mini flashing under heaven for the heaven players. You can make it a protocol that as mini players, you guys don't run in and hard clear this corner. And then instead you let your heaven players clear this corner and you guys just care about here and here, whatever the case might be, right? This is like the end goal. Now, you can do tons of different things with this, and this is why Nuke is so creative. You don't just have to do these defaults to just do the primary goal. You can actually throw the exact same nades, cause the exact same rotations, manipulate the defenses, and do something completely unique to your team. And that's what makes defaulting on Nuke so much fun. So the last default that we're going to touch on is the lobby default. Now, in short, the lobby default is actually a counter for a counter. CTs are going to get pretty annoyed at your outside smokes. If every single round you're throwing these C smokes, you're stopping their red aggro, you're clearing them Africa, you're getting down secret, and they cannot kill you in this process. They're going to get frustrated. They're going to be like, we're losing the rotational battle here. Like, how can we beat this? So one of the looks that you might see is you might see a lobby crunch, and a lot of teams are going to do this with their opper leading through ramp like this, with another rifler walking up here with him. And then they're going to usually send two guys through hut, and they're looking to crunch upper, right? And make sure that lobby is clear and kill that guy who's solo lurking. Now, for your lobby default, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to directly counter this idea directly. And so you can put your opper posted on ramp like this. It's very nice because their opposing opper is coming through on a left eye peak, so they are at a disadvantage, and they're walking. So if you miss this shot, well, this video might not matter for you anyway. But anyways, this shot's really easy. So post on the angle, be ready for them. While you're posted there, another rifler will be here anti-flash, just in case they opted to do any sort of flash push play toward the ramp, right? And then you're going to have one guy looking at hut. Typically, teams will send that guy up on blacktop. Now, I'll give you a really important tip. Don't stand on blacktop up here and hold like this. It looks nice because you have this whole angle. But a CT player is going to literally just swing out here and charge and pre-aim you. So what you want to do is you actually want to put yourself in the corner like this. And so from this position, it's very difficult for the CT to peek through and insta headshot you. Obviously, they can spam you, but you're actually at the advantage because you have the AK. And so it's easier for you to spam through in this situation. And then lastly, we're going to have a guy watching door. And we've naded off door. We've thrown a lurk smoke, whatever the case might be. Now, the initial goal is just to stop a lobby crunch. It's to make sure that they don't have any positional value on you in lobby. But to really make it look legit, you typically need to still throw these outside smokes. So what many teams will do is they'll do a lobby default, and then they'll have one of the four guys in lobby come back outside in the mid round around the same timing that we normally throw our C smokes. And this guy will come back and he will throw both smokes. And in my team, sometimes I will even throw the flash for my teammate if he needs it, and allow him to kind of go about his default the exact same way. Now, you're putting a lot of faith in that guy, so it needs to be somebody on your team that you can trust and somebody that has some good experience doing the role. But the idea here is that by throwing those smokes at the same timing, you are potentially initiating that lobby crunch, because many teams might actually look to crunch on that timing. Now, if no crunch comes, what are you going to do? Well, you're just in position to take ramp control. Easy peasy. But you can also do some really unique things. So let me show you a couple cool plays that pro teams have been using for a while now. This play is really broken, and in my opinion, it is one of the single best op picks you can go for on Nuke. Many teams just look to get op picks by just running around and, you know, shooting faster. But one really cool way you can do it is by throwing top silo HEs like this. Now, it's very common for a player to play up here like this. So the concept here is we're going to throw double HEs on the top silo player. So one like this, And I believe the other lineup is like this. And off of these HEs, what it's going to do is it's going to drop that type silo player to back silo. Okay, and he's going to take a bunch of damage. He's going to be really annoyed. So now he's going to play here and he's going to jiggle peek like this. Now, the whole reason he was playing here in the first place was so that he didn't have to jiggle peek like this, because this is a little bit risky. So now, after throwing those double HEs, we're just going to go ahead and have one guy throw a flash like this. And this is going to make that back silo player feel like he needs to get information like, oh, I'm blind, jiggle hut, make sure nobody's coming out. And so while you're doing all this, your op just peeks out and he takes that kill. Now, we also throw the flash to make sure that the opposing opper can't be posted from here to kind of support him or anything like that. So while you're in these lobby defaults, you want to do cool little unique things to find yourself kills. You could also look to do some sort of door play. This was made very popular by a couple Brazilian teams for a while. I want to say it was MIBR who created it, but it might have been Pain, so I apologize to either or. But what they'll do is they actually throw a door lurk smoke and they molly top hut. And then they jump two guys out the door and they instantly boost in this corner. Now, what this does for them is this gives them the opportunity to see over top of their lurk smoke and see into the heaven angle. Sometimes they could even see nitro wall and get a free kill like this, but by boosting outside of door with a top pop molly and a lurk smoke, you're giving yourself a really cool opportunity to find a kill that most teams aren't expecting. You can even technically see like Mustang and Rafters, so it's pretty unique and a cool way to find an opening while you're in the lobby default. But that's basically it, right? The lobby default's pretty basic overall, and it has a main purpose and it's got a couple little gimmicks that you can do within it, but at the end of the day, it's still just looking to counter the rotations around the map by the CTs. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and like always, if you did, leave me a thumbs up and leave a comment below of what you'd like to see next. Also, if you'd like to see a part 2 on this video, I know I did not cover everything. I know most of you watching know that I did not cover everything, but it's so difficult to do so in under 20 minutes. So I do appreciate all the support, and like I said, if you want to see part 2, let me know. And anyways, you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace out.